Welcome back to Choco Cinema, the series where every Monday we take a closer look at films that left a lasting mark on cinema. And this month we have been exploring stories about aging, regret, and the idea of second chances with Clint Eastwood films. And today I think that we dive into one of the most personal performances that he's ever given. Not a gunslinger, not a cop, not a hero, just an old man trying to make things right before time runs out. This is The Mule. Now this is going to be our last Clint Eastwood film for the month because a new month is literally about to start. And so like, subscribe for that because we will be talking about a different genre every Monday starting next week. There is something very haunting about watching Clint Eastwood in this film, not because it's a crime story, not because of the danger, but because it feels real. The Mule isn't about action, it's about those consequences. It's about what happens when you spend your whole life chasing success and realize too late what you lost along the way. Now, this film was released in 2018, and it was directed and starring Clint Eastwood himself, inspired by the true story of a man in his 80s who became a drug courier for a Mexican cartel. At this point in his career, Eastwood has already solidifies himself as a legend, but instead of playing another larger-than-life character, he chose something quieter, much like Gran Torino, and something deeply human. He plays Earl Stone, a man whose business collapses, leaving him broken alone, and with no options left, he takes a job driving packages across the country. Only later does he realize what he's really delivering. At first, the job does seem simple. You know, you drive from point A to point B, no questions asked, and you make some money. And because Earl's an elderly man, he's very polite, harmless looking, no one really suspects him, and he becomes the perfect mule. But as the money starts rolling in, Earl begins rebuilding the life that he neglected. He reconnects with his family, he fixes old mistakes, and he tries to be more present. The problem is that the deeper he goes into the world, the harder it becomes to escape. Clint Eastwood delivers one of the most vulnerable performances of his career here. Earl is not a tough guy, he isn't fearless. He is very tired. And honestly, that is kind of what makes this character so compelling for me. I believe that, from when I was watching it just last week, you can see the regret in his eyes, the realization that success doesn't really mean much if you lose the people who matter most. There's a quiet sadness in every scene because of that. It's not very dramatic or loud, just more a realistic tone they're going for. And now onto that tone and style. I think that one of the most surprising things about The Mule is its tone. It moves very slowly, almost like a road trip. There are moments of humor, some awkward conversations, some old man stubbornness, and Earl's refusal to change with the times. Underneath that humor is some tension because we know this journey cannot end well, and so you're kind of just building up to that finale. The film isn't really building towards a shootout, however, it's building towards some accountability for Earl. At its core, The Mule is about regret and redemption. Earl spent his life chasing work instead of relationships, and he missed birthdays, he ended up missing anniversaries, and he missed moments that can never be replaced. And now finally, in the final chapter of his life, he's trying to make up for all that lost time. The movie then asks a difficult question. What do you do when you realize that the life you built came at the cost of the people that you love? The film also features strong performances from Bradley Cooper as the DEA agent chasing Earl, and I feel like there's scenes add a emotional weight to the story once we get to his ex-wife as well, because this isn't just a crime film, it's a family drama wrapped inside a crime story. Every interaction reminds us that the real conflict isn't between Earl and the law, it's between Earl and his past. While this film is not as flashy as Eastwood's earlier films, it does stand as one of the most reflective. It feels like a meditation on aging, on mistakes, on the idea that it's never too late to take responsibility for your actions. And in many ways, it feels like Clint Eastwood speaking directly to the audience and acknowledging the passage of time and the importance of making peace with your choices. The Mule is very quiet, it's very emotional and deeply human. It's not about crime, it's about the consequences. It's also about the realization that money and success can't replace love and connection, and it's a pretty powerful message at that. And it's a reminder that the redemption doesn't erase the past, but it can change how the story does end. That's it for this week's Choco Cinema. If you enjoyed this deep dive into The Mule, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more movie discussions every single Monday, because like I said, next Monday we're taking a deep dive into a different genre, which I'm still thinking up here. If you got some recommendations, comment down below. And do you think that Earl found redemption or simply acceptance? Until next time, this is Mr. Chocolate. I'll catch you guys on the next one.